Гаррі Поттер and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. Chapter 9, The Writing on the Wall. What's going on here? What's going on? Attracted no doubt by Malfoy's shout, Argus Filch came shouldering his way through the crowd. Then he saw Mrs. Norris and fell back, clutching his face in horror. My cat! My cat! What's happened to Mrs. Norris? He shrieked. His popping eyes fell on Harry. You! He screeched. You murdered my cat! You killed her! I'll kill you! Argus! Dumbledore had arrived on the scene, followed by a number of other teachers. In seconds, he had swept past Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and detached Mrs. Norris from the torch bracket. Come with me, Argus, he said to Filch. You too, Mr. Potter, Mr. Weasley, Miss Granger. Lockhart stepped forward eagerly. My office is nearest, Headmaster. Just upstairs. Please feel free. Thank you, Gilderoy, said Dumbledore. The silent crowd parted to them past. Lockhart, looking excited and important, hurried after Dumbledore. So did Professor McGonagall and Snape. As they entered Lockhart's darkened office, there was a flurry of movement across the walls. Harry saw several of the Lockharts in the pictures dogging out of sight, then Harry and Laura rose. The real Lockhart lit the candles on his desk and stood back. Dumbledore set Mr. Norris on the polished surface and began to examine. Harry, Ron, and Hermione exchanged tense looks and sank into chairs outside the pool of candlelight, watching. The tip of Dumbledore's long, crooked nose was barely an inch from Mrs. Norris' fur. He was looking at her closely through his half-moon spectacles. His slunk fingers gently prodding and poking. Professor McGonagall was bent almost as close, her eyes narrowed. Snape loomed behind them, half in shadow, wearing a more peculiar expression. It was a thought he was trying hard not to smile, and Lockhart was hovering all around all of them, making suggestions. It was definitely a curse they could hold, preferably the transfiguration torture. I've seen it used many times, so unlucky I wasn't there. I know the very counter curse that could have saved her. Lockhart's comments were punctuated by Filch's dry, raking sobs. He was slumped in a chair by the desk, unable to look at Mrs. Norris, his face in his hands. Much as his did Filch, Harry couldn't help feeling a bit sorry for him, though not nearly as sorry as he felt for himself. If Dumbledore believed Filch, he would be expelled from sure. Dumbledore was now muttering strange words under his breath, attacking Mrs. Norris with his wand, but nothing happened. She continued to look as though she had been recently stuffed. I remember something very similar happening in Oagadogu. Said Lockhart. A series of attacks, the full stories in my autobiography. I was able to provide the townsfolk with various amulets which cleared the method up at once. The photographs of Lockhart on the wall were all noted in agreement as he talked. One of them had forgotten to remove his hairnet. At last Dumbledore straightened it up. She's not dead, Argus, he said softly. Lockhart stopped abruptly in the middle of counting the number of murders he had prevented. Not dead? Choked Filch, looking through his fingers at Mrs. Norris. But why is she all stiff and frozen? She has been petrified, said Dumbledore. Ah, I thought so, said Lockhart. But how, I cannot say. Ask him, shrieked Filch, turning his blotched and tear-stained face to Harry. No second year could have done this, said Dumbledore firmly. It would take dark magic out of the most advanced. He did it! Filch spat, his pouchy face perping. You saw that he wrote on the wall. He found in my office. He knows I'm a... Filch's face worked horribly. He knows I'm a squid, he finished. I never touched Mrs. Norris, Harry said loudly, uncomfortably aware of everyone looking at him, including all the lockers on the walls. And I don't even know what a squib is. Rubbish, sneered Filch. He saw my quick spell letter. If I may speak, Headmaster said Snape from the shadows, and Harry's sense of boredom increased. He was sure nothing Snape had to say was going to do him any good. Potter and his friends may have simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time, he said, a slight sneer curling his mouth as though he could...
Read.
As he could... But we do have a set of suspicious circumstances here. Why were they in the upstairs corridor at all? Why weren't they in the Harry, Ron and Hermione all launched an explanation about the Death Day party. There were hundreds of ghosts, but I tell you, we were there. But why not join the feast afterwards? Said Snape, his black eyes glittering in the candlelight. Why go up to that corridor? Ron and Hermione looked at Harry. Because Harry said, his heart...
Та не обертайся до мене, обертайся лицем і так заткуй.
Far-fetched, it had told
Не
him
спіши.
had been sounded there by a bodiless voice, no one that he could hear. Because we were tired and wanted to go to bed, he said. Without any supper, said Snape, a triumphant smile flickering across his gaunt face. I didn't think ghosts provided food, bed for living people at their parties. America spoke slowly as his stomach gave a huge rumble. Snape's nasty smile widened. I suggest, Headmaster, that Potter is not being entirely true. He said.
Ну,
He said, it might be a good idea if you
Steve.
would decorate a certain prologues until he's ready to tell us the whole story. After another thing, you should be
іди до мене.
next. Really, Severus, said Professor McGonagall sharply. I see no reason to stop...
Read.
To stop the boy of playing Quidditch, this cat wasn't hit over the head with a broomstick. There is no evidence that Old Potter has done anything wrong. Dumbledore was giving Harry a searching look. His winkling-eyed blue gaze made Harry feel as though he was being X-rayed. Innocent until proven guilty, Severus, he said quickly. Snape looked furious, so did Filch. My cat has been petrified, he shrieked, his eyes popping. I want to see some punishment. We'll be able to cure her, argues, said Dumbledore passionately. Professor Sprout recently imagined to procure some mandrakes. As soon as they have reached their full size, I will have a potion made which will revive Mrs. Norris. It will take it, Lockhart butted in. I must have done with it 100 times. I could whip up a mandrake restorative trough in my sleep. Excuse me, said Snape icily, but I believe I am the potions master at this school. There was a very awkward pause. You may go, Dumbledore said to Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They went as quickly as they could without actually running. When they were a floor up from Lockhart's office, they turned into an empty classroom and closed the door quietly behind them. Harry squinted at his friends' darkened faces. Do you think I should have told them about the wizard heard? No, said Ron without hesitation. Having voices no one else can hear isn't a good sign, even if the wizard village. Something at once was made Harry ask. You do believe me, don't you? Of course I do, said Ron quickly. But you must admit it's weird. I know it's weird, said Harry. The whole being weird. What was that writing on the wall about? The chamber has been opened. What is that supposed to mean? You know, it rings sort of a bell, said Ron slowly. I think someone told me a story about a secret chamber at Hogwarts once. Might have been Bill. And what on earth is Squib? To his surprise, Ron stiffened to snigger. Well, it's not funny really, but it's Filch, he said. A Squib is someone who was born to a wizarding family but hasn't got any magic powers. Kind of the opposite of muggle-born wizards.
Все.
The Squibs are quite unusual. If Filch is trying to learn magic from a quick spell course, I reckon he must be a Squib. It would explain a lot, like why he hates students so much. Ron gave a satisfied smile. He's bitter.